Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with the daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask you guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely. Also, if you do find any information in this video valuable, useful, interesting, whatever the case may be, definitely consider subscribing and turning notifications on as well. And I do greatly appreciate that. Now, overall, yes, I am watching today's candle close very closely. As you guys do know, today is the weekly candle close. I am uploading this at possibly around 4 a.m. It is currently about 3:45 a.m. as I am recording this now. But overall, when we're talking about this market currently, I'm not too worried with the overall structure. Everybody's kind of scared, panicky. They still think that we're in a bear market. I am not too concerned at all, especially even in terms of XRP's overall price, right now, currently, like the 78 cents. Like, in my mind, I still believe that 2022 is going to be huge for all of crypto. Nothing's really changed, honestly. We're still seeing mass adoption happening for crypto. We're still seeing a lot of money flowing in. We just don't see a lot of volume where volume is needed. And that's totally fine for now. I just want to watch this market closely today and also on Monday just to really see the overall shock, because Monday, of course, we know is the major indices opening. So, that's where I'm really kind of my attention, is just the indices currently. But overall, I'm not too scared or worried at all until XRP really kind of loses its summer lows, which, as you guys do know, if we're talking about those summer lows, we can pretty much see that on the 1-year chart. So here you guys do have that, about 53 cents. I am not too concerned at all on those prices back here, if we do hold those or even get to those. Now, I will say this, I am also watching Bitcoin in general. I'm waiting for 37.5K to be tested. If it doesn't get tested, that's totally fine. I will welcome that. I'm just saying that's pretty much max pain until we do get to the point where we have that nice impulsive wave back up. Now, with all of this in mind, I do want to talk to you guys about some crazy overall updates within Ripple, aka some, Visa, Mastercard, and stuff like that, partnerships. Like, it's actually fairly huge. So just sit back and wait until the end of the video. I do have a ton of stuff to talk about, so let's just jump in. So first off, we're going to be talking about this white paper that, of course, Ripple felt the need to share yet again yesterday. Now, this is talking about the last mile. If you guys don't know about this, this is talking about, Ripple pretty much getting into some key markets, specifically 14 of them, and we're going to be discussing why. But overall, they are talking about global payments. They're talking about, a move to, pretty much get this market efficiently scaled and also allow for a lot more ease of use, a lot faster payments, a lot cheaper payments, and of course, in general, settlement times will be a lot quicker, and we will see a lot more scalability. Now, we're going to be talking about this, and we're going to be discussing this. This is, of course, focusing on cross-border payments, and of course, they were talking about in key markets from Poland to, even Peru. And let's just dive in and let's talk about this. So they are talking about the opportunities to streamline and grow your business in country-by-country primer on domestic payment systems. Now, of course, they're talking more so about revolutionizing today's cross-border payments. We know now it's a $155 trillion market in this, overall white paper. It is going to be talking more so about $127 trillion. That's just how fast this market actually truly does grow. Now, they are talking about 14 key regions, including Mexico, Thailand, and even, Nigeria. So in general, they're talking about financial inclusion. They're talking about speed, efficiencies like that. Like, for an example, cross-border payments take weeks to settle. We're talking about 9 days in terms of settlement from the start to finish date. That is absolutely terrible. We know that that is bad. We know that there's a lot of major issues within this scene. Now, I've always said in terms of interoperability and even settlement, I am more so focused on Ripple really disrupting that portion of the payment system, because that is where we really are kind of trying to focus on in terms of settlement, in terms of liquidity. On-demand liquidity by itself is a very large use case, but everybody kind of disregards one major use case. And can you guys guess what that is? Yeah, it's line of credit. We're going to be talking about why line of credit is huge. Now, of course, they are talking about the future is blockchain and digital assets. We know that out of 195 countries, there are now over 54 real-time payment schemes developed and many more in development globally. And they are talking about, The need for a standard international payment system that is both fast and verifiable is reaching critical mass, already at $127 trillion per year. And like I said, this has grown to $155 trillion. It's massive how major this market is growing day on day on day. And of course, you do see the high market opportunity here labeled in blue, all the way to low market opportunity labeled down in yellow. Now we know that Ripple is positioned in a lot of these places. In terms of just one example we're going to be talking about in this video as well is the UK with the Digital Pound Foundation. I think that that's awesome. I think that that's huge, especially from Ripple's side. Now, I'm not going to be talking too much on that. I want to talk to you guys about some of these live countries. So don't pay attention to the total remittance flows. Pay attention to this total SME flows, because this is what I'm talking about in terms of line of credit. If you guys don't know what line of credit is, it allows for SMEs, small medium enterprises, to utilize credit where most banks would deny them. So if we actually jump into this market, we could potentially disrupt almost $50 billion in Argentina. We do see Brazil, $137.7 billion. Australia is only $45 million, but it is what it is. We do see Colombia, $28.7 billion. Europe is $1.7 trillion. This is what I'm talking about. The scale here is massive. And of course, you do see even India, $287.5 billion. 31.7 billion in Peru. I mean, this is fairly large. Even Poland, like the massive amounts of flow, even Thailand, 141 billion. Like the massive amounts of flow through SMEs alone is enough to, really boast XRP's value and really provide you an insight on how big it actually is going to be. I want you to all understand that. So in my mind, I think that this last mile playbook is huge. I think that it really kind of focuses on, one, the volume of cross-border payment flows in general, but I think it also gives you a good insight on SMEs and how huge they actually play, or a role that they play, in this market as well. So please pay attention to even the smallest use cases. Do not just focus on-demand liquidity with Nostro, Vostro accounts reaching 27 trillion, because even the SME volume is absolutely ridiculous. Now, we do see Paydek here. Now, I don't know if you guys know about Paydek, but Paydek is actually fairly huge. We do see, streamline your global payroll with Paydek, wire transfers, virtual USA and EU accounts, local bank transfers available in 120 plus countries and over 60 plus currencies, fund any account, send funds to any Visa, Mastercard, or Union Pay. And no, this is not the partnership with Visa and Mastercard that I'm talking about. I'm actually going to be talking about that here in a second. But we do see what we offer for business clients. Of course, you can pretty much see all of this, even for individuals as well, multiple ways to access your funds. And of course, we do see a lot of, just in general, what they're really kind of focused on is streamlining payments and payroll in general. So I think that this is also huge. But what is the big connection to Ripple here? Well, all we have to do is go back to September, 2021, which, yes, was just last year. We do see Paydek has partnered with RippleNet to expand footprint in Latin America and Africa with cross-border payment solution. We know that Paydek is actually fairly large because I just talked to you guys about how big they are, but we also see that they initially leveraged RippleNet to connect into Africa, a quickly growing hub for the on-demand work, and has since expanded into Latin America in partnership with local payment. So we are still seeing this move into real-time cross-border payment flows as well, one. We also see this moving into a lot more as well. We even see what RippleNet is really kind of delivering in general for liquidity and all that kind of stuff, as you guys do read there. But overall, I think that this is fairly large. I think that this is a huge, overall partnership. And of course, when we're talking about the services and even case studies, like you could read all about their case studies here. You could pretty much read everything about Paydek. They're actually a fairly large overall company. You can pretty much see their affiliate networks. You can pretty much join it if you guys do have a network, which I highly doubt that you guys do. But I'm just saying in general, Paydek is still going to continue to grow and grow and grow in demand. And I think that this is really going to blossom into a massive accelerator for RippleNet payments in terms of cross-border payments. Now, we do see this. This is the huge breadcrumb that leads us back to Mastercard. Everything seems to be coming together for Ripple. They weren't joking when they said we're in the last mile. Azimo is another hub operator to be supported by Mohaloop. Is endorsed by the United Nations, who reported Azimo was cheaper than Western Union and MoneyGram. And we even see, RippleNet focusing on on-demand liquidity solution enables financial institutions to deliver instant cross-border payments without the need for pre-funding. Discover how Azimo uses on-demand liquidity. And of course, we do see Azimo has partnered with HomeSend. This is actually a fairly large company. They do have, they're launching this massive mobile money remittance services in 10 new countries across the Asia Pacific and Africa. And of course, we do see a lot of this is in partnership with, it's between Mastercard, eServe Global, and even BICS or BIC. So this is actually fairly huge, and it really kind of directly connects back to Mastercard. Azimo has partnered with HomeSend, which was fully acquired by Mastercard. Remember, Mastercard's debit card with XRP rewards, that's already available through Global ID. Now back to HomeSend, they're working with Identity to automate financial reports to regulators. This is a massive breadcrumb. Shout out to Jimmy for this. I'm telling you guys, this is all focused on, of course, cross-border payment capabilities as well. I would not be surprised if a lot of these major networks were utilizing XRP. I just want you guys to all understand that at the end of the day, though, like Mastercard and Visa, for example, they need to utilize the DOT technology to scale. So I think that this is huge. And we even see Mastercard's vice president has already publicly stated they've set up all the networks and are working with Ripple and are ready to go. Mastercard also announced a partnership with Bakkt in October. Their CEO formerly held roles at Citi, JP Morgan Chase, and Accenture. And we do see here, Vice President Mastercard, we've set up all the networks, we're working with Ripple, and we're ready to go, zero doubt. This is why you need to focus on the things being built behind the scenes. This is absolutely crazy. Now, also connecting the dots with Azimo, let's talk about how big this company is. Let's just come up here. 2 million plus happy customers, 80 plus countries with instant or 1 hour transfers, which I love the idea of instant here being used, up to 75% cheaper than banks and high street providers. And we do see, imagine if your bank took 7% of every transfer you made, well, that's pretty much the average cost of a single remittance. Best part about this is going back a little bit to February 26, 2020, Azimo and Ripple partnered to deliver faster, cheaper payments to the Philippines. I'm sure that this has blossomed way, way, way beyond just that in terms of a use case. And I really do believe that this is so much bigger than what a lot of individuals are stating. Now, we do see this as well. Breaking news, Swiss National Bank trials CBDC in transactions with 5 banks. XRP, the standard. Now, I'm not too sure if I would go as far as XRP being utilized for this, but of course we do see the major connections with Swiss Root. Here's Ripple being, pretty much utilized, and of course they're talking more so about the flexibility of having multiple cross-border payment solutions and Ripple in your pocket. There are no limitations to your banking possibilities, and we also see on the next slide pretty much an idea on how this will all work, and of course, Ripple's XRP in terms of crypto assets designed for inter or intra-bank payments and settlements, most relevant for wholesale CBDCs. This is pretty big. Now, the best part about this is we did see this announcement. Digital Pound Foundation launches to push for UK CBDC. This goes back to October 14th. You guys remember when I reported on this, I'm sure. But the reason why I bring this back up, okay, is that we talked about this article in my Q&T video from yesterday. And I know that we connected the dots with Q&T in terms of these 5 major banks with the Swiss National Bank trials with their CBDC. And of course, there is 6 BIS, stuff like that. This is actually a fairly large update. And we do see some of those names listed here as well. As you guys do see, these are the 5 commercial banks: Citi, Credit Suisse, Goldman Sachs, Hypo the Car Bank. I hope that I said that right. But Lensberg and UBS, right? Now, the best part about this is in terms of all of this, they're talking about DLT, technologies. They're talking about regulators may need to cover tokenized asset markets in their monetary policies, and the authority said an elaborated international regulatory standards suggest that operators of systemically important infrastructures should settle obligations in central bank money whenever practical and available. While none of the existing DOT-based platforms are systemic yet, they may become so in the future. And of course, they were talking more so about Project Helvetia and stuff like that. But the reason why I bring this up is we talked about the connections to Q&T within this. And I think it's a similar thing going on with, going as far back as the Digital Pound Foundation. I think that with the Digital Pound Foundation and also, of course, the Swiss National Bank, these kind of go hand in hand, in terms of this announcement, which leads us back to Ripple and even XRP as well as QNT. I think that QNT is the interoperability bridge between a major DLT network. Of course, as I already told you guys all that in the past, I think that this is huge. Now, last but not least, when we're talking all about all of this stuff and we're really kind of connecting the dots, I just want you guys to understand, and this is what I'm going to summarize for all of you. Okay, so as things are getting a little bit more hectic in this market, as we are seeing a lot more, diversity in terms of where we are in this market, bull market, bear market, whatever the case market, right? I just want you to all understand that although holding XRP, since, maybe 2021, 2020, 2019, wherever you guys are, in terms of your holdings, just know that since the all-time low on XRP going back as far as 8 years ago, we are only up 27,763%. The reason why I bring up this ROI and the reason why I bring up this percentage is because I want you to understand that this was 8 years ago, and we're up currently from that all-time low 27,700%. Okay, let's kind of go back and let's look at, for example, just Solana. Okay, now Solana is still holding a fairly good point. It's around, a nice overall price range. But look at this. So since its all-time low 2 years ago, I mind you, 2 years ago, we were at 27,500% of a run since then. That is fairly large. 63,350% ROI value. I want you to all realize that XRP has not ran yet. XRP has not seen its day yet. The sun is shining, but XRP is still inside, waiting to come out. And technically, you could say that XRP is grounded by the SEC, but overall, when we're talking about the percentage upside from, even just 2 years ago, if we did like a 27,000% run from literally 2 years ago, like we're talking about, January of 2020, okay? Back in January of 2020, we were sitting at 22 cents. 22 cents. I'm just rounding it to 22. I know that it's not exactly 22 cents. I know, guys. But in general, imagine if we did a 27,000% run off of 22 cents. You guys want to know what it is? I mean, it's fairly easy. All you have to do is really kind of look behind the scenes to understand that if we did a 27,000% run from these lows going back 2 years ago, we would be at almost $60 per XRP off of a 27,000% run from 20-some cents. That is huge. Okay, and I'm not saying that we're going to do that. I'm just saying that's why I like to compare and contrast a lot of these projects, and that's why I always look at the all-time lows, where we are from there, and pretty much where we are currently. So with all of that in mind, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.